And everybody, it is time for Monsters Playoff Hockey. Game 1 of the playoffs is this Friday, April 24th at 7 p.m. The Monsters take on the Syracuse Crunch in the North Division semifinals, presented by True North Convenience Stores. All fans are going to receive a rally towel, and the first 5,000 fans get a playoff t-shirt, courtesy of Friedman, Damiano, and Smith. There's nothing like playoff hockey. You got to see it live at Rocket Arena this Friday night. Get your playoff tickets and more at clevelandmonsters.com/playoffs, or you can scan the QR code on your screen right now. And it's my pleasure, guys, to bring in Tyvis Powell.
Tyvis.
What up, Ty?
Tyvis. Where is he?
Gentlemen.
Oh, there he is.
How y'all doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. I played some basketball yesterday, right? And I'm at the point now where I think the age is starting to catch up. I think 32 is where I might be at my the decline is now happening.
You're in your head, bro.
Yeah.
Listen,
no, dude, I'm 43, and I at 32, I'm way better now than I was at 32. Way better.
Well, then it's the weight. It's the weight.
At my athleticism, everything. Okay. I think you're talking about how you feel, your body, right? All that stuff.
My legs is so sore right now. It's ridiculous.
You're too heavy, bro. You're too heavy. I'm serious. You're too heavy. You need to lose 30 pounds.
You say that like that's just you can easily lose 30 pounds.
You can.
How, Dustin? What's the way?
Well, you have
the way.
I do intermittent
tennis.
I do intermittent fasting. Obviously, I eat like one meal a day, which is around dinner time. That works for me.
That's that old man.
You should start playing tennis.
Yeah, I don't. Tennis has never been a thing for me. Like that's
because it's hard.
Yeah.
That's
why it's a lot of movement.
Yeah, it's full body and mind.
You just keep playing basketball. That's pretty good.
Basketball, you'll get hurt playing basketball because you got to worry about the other idiots on the court.
Yeah, that's true too. I watched two people go knee to knee yesterday, and it was pretty bad. Yeah.
I had my last appearance on a basketball court at the YMCA when I was 35, and I had a fast break, and I was going to go for a dunk.
Yeah.
And a guy undercut me, and I said, "I'm done."
Nope.
I retired.
That's as dirty as it gets.
But I retired. Who does that though?
That's
what
are you doing that? As dirty as it gets. I mean, you had every right to fight that guy.
I mean, he didn't really try to, but he didn't just let me go. He tried. He fouled me.
Yeah. That's so. And just a random pickup game.
Yes.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
All right, let's talk some football with Tyvis. Tyvis, we were just talking about the fact that I don't know if you heard the first segment. Did you hear the first segment of the show or no?
Yeah, I listened to it. Yeah, you're talking about Todd Monken and how he has to pick the best quarterback because this is his first year as a head coach and all of that stuff. Yeah,
your thoughts on that?
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think that we're over exaggerating a little bit. I mean, it's not like they're going to fire this man after 1 year. I don't think that's the case. I think that he wouldn't have taken this job if he was going to get fired after 1 year. I think that he has time to work with a guy. Now, the elephant in the room is none of these are his guy. And if you're ever going to be a head coach, you always want your guy at some point. So that is something that Deshaun, Shedeur, and Dylan have to overcome. They have to be so good that Todd doesn't even think that he needs to go outside of here to get another guy. And obviously, that's a work in progress because you don't know what you're going to get out of those three guys right now. The quarterback tracker thing, I see is back. It's a genius idea. I hate the fact that it's out of context and you don't know what's going on. I did watch the Shedeur interception, and there's a couple of things with that. Obviously he should have thrown the spray out to the 5-yard out. That was probably the better read. But what's being misled and what people aren't talking about enough is, yes, Shedeur threw an interception, but what's not being talked about is the fact that corner, whoever that is, I don't even know who's number 20. I don't even know who it is. But the fact that he high pointed that ball and picked it off, we need more of that in the secondary. So I was so busy praising that play, that the fact that the DB did that I didn't even pay attention to the fact that Shedeur threw the pick anyways.
Well, does anybody care? I mean, I guess people care.
People do. You don't care? People do care.
Sometimes
you're the minority.
When I ripped the quarterback tracker, some people took that last year as me knocking Shedeur, which is ridiculous. I don't care that Shedeur threw a pick in practice. I don't care. It's not to me. It's not a negative. Yeah, I'm not giving them a negative grade. I'm not grading guys based on anything they do in practice. If there's value to it for the players, there's value to it for the coaches, obviously. But we are just all make it. Football is such a monster that we are forced to make something out of nothing. This, even 10 years ago in sports talk, we wouldn't even have been talking about this. I don't think.
Well,
because it was just so nothing.
It's day one.
Yeah.
It's day one of guys that, they've been having their offseason where they've thrown, but they haven't gone against the defense. They don't know what the new system is going to be. You don't know exactly what they're working on. It could be they was working on trying to get explosive plays, and he just tried to do that. We don't know the whole context of the whole thing. It's day one, so I'm not putting anything into any stock into what the quarterback tracker was yesterday. That you're right. That's meaningless to me. Once we get towards training camp and once we get towards the season, like I say, the joint practices is the only things that I put a lot of stock in. And obviously I want to see them just play clean, as the preseason go on. But right now it's just about learning the new playbook, trying to figure out where you want the quarterbacks to go. I love the fact that they got the GoPro on their helmet because you can't fake that. Now the reason that I think that they're doing it is because they want to see where the quarterback's eyes are and what they see. And the best way to do it is put the GoPro in there. So as you watching the tape, you can't lie to Ty Munkin or whoever the quarterback coach is. He's going to be like, what was you looking at? What was your progressions? Did you go through your progressions correctly? And you can't say, yeah, I did. No, we can see it right here on this camera that no, you didn't. You looked at the wrong thing. So to me, I think that is great. It seems like to me they're going all the way down ground zero with everybody. To where, last year I know Jason brought up a thing of, sometimes he struggled with progression and, didn't understand protection and all those things. Well, now it's on tape. We're going to literally see Shedeur Sanders' eyes and Deshaun and Dylan's eyes on each play. Look at the lines, identify who the linebacker is or where the blitz is coming, see you make the checks, see you go through your progressions. If somebody's hot, you see where to go with the football, we're going to know instantly. And I think that's wonderful that Ty Munkin or whoever's on the offensive side that decided to install that. I think that's a genius idea, especially for two young quarterbacks that's entering year 2 of the NFL.
Great. Yeah, we're going to talk about the GoPros a little bit in the next hour. But, Ty, it is Wednesday. You are on UCSS, which means you have a hot and wild take for us to dive into.
I don't think it's hot and wild.
I was going to say, Ty, you said these
logical
before, so I know what's coming. Spoiler alert. I don't totally hate this one, Ty.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So the take today is this. I believe that the Orlando Magic is more of a threat to the Cavaliers than Detroit is. If I'm the Cavaliers, I actually want Detroit to beat Orlando and play them in the next round rather than play Orlando in the second round. The reason that I say this is because, one, we've had history against Orlando before. A couple of years ago, obviously it went 7 games. In a game 7 where we had to come back and win that game. Another thing is that they do not fear the Cavaliers at all. And we always talk about size and length of these opponents that give the Cavs trouble. Well, that's exactly what Orlando's got there. Obviously Paolo is a really good player. He's really coming into his own, very physical. Him and Franz, obviously those two guys are really tall, so I think that can cause some mismatch problems there because somebody's got to guard Franz. And, James Harden is not the greatest defender, but I think he'd probably be the best, or you might put Dean Wade on him and then Paolo's got to check Evan and those things. But I think that it's always going to be a physical series there. And I think that's what we learned from when we played them the last time is that those guys are very physical and they're going to try to beat you up. So even if the Cavs did escape it, which I believe that they ultimately will, I think that their bodies will be beat up if they did have to play the Celtics or the Knicks in that next round, to me personally. So I think that, to me, Orlando is a little bit scarier than Detroit is.
I don't know if I fully buy and agree, Tyvis, but I don't hate this for this reason. Cade Cunningham's the best player in that series, right? Second's probably Paolo. Third's probably Desmond Bane. You could argue fourth is Franz Wagner. And then 5, Duran's in there. It just depends on how much you like Duran. But you would argue 4 of the 6 best players in that series are on Orlando.
I got to tell you, you guys are losing basketball. Now, I got criticized for not knowing basketball well, and you guys are losing your basketball knowledge points. I mean, talk about prisoner of the moment because Orlando won the first game. Detroit's going to win 4 in a row. We know this is going to happen. People have been underestimating Detroit all year. They're the better team. They're better offensively. They're better defensively. They have the better superstar. Orlando has made no progress in the last few years. They're the same schleppy team they've been for the last 3-4 years.
And I also would say that they are the same team that played the Cavs.
Yeah.
It took them to 7 games. And we're not the same team that went 7 games.
Exactly.
Because we didn't have James Harden then.
Yes, exactly. So
y'all saying that like I said they're going to beat the Cavs. I said that it'll be a physical matchup, which it will be. I think that they provide trouble when you talk about size, which they do. And Paolo is a very good basketball player. What did I say that you didn't agree with?
You said they're going to be a tougher matchup than the
They are a tougher matchup than Detroit. Detroit doesn't have a second scorer. We've been talking about that all year. And it's finally showing. Because Jalen Duren looks like Jared Allen against the Knicks. It looked like he was a deer in the headlight. I'm just saying. It was only one game for sure, but he definitely was a no-show in one of the biggest moments where you need a guy like that. If you don't get that, then it is what it is.
I mean, come on, guys. It's one game. If it was a whole series, I would buy it, but, like, it's one game.
I said I didn't hate it.
So let me ask you this, Bull.
It.
Yeah.
If it happens again, then you gonna agree with my take?
No,
if Detroit goes out there and looks exactly how they did in game 1, you wouldn't agree that you'd rather play Detroit than Orlando?
No.
You're out of your mind. You are out of your mind.
The body of work.
You are out of your mind.
Can I try co-sign?
What does Orlando do better than Detroit?
Shoot.
I don't know. Score.
Detroit scored more points.
Not really. So
They scored more points this year.
Orlando's finally healthy, which is why.
Which is excuses.
Listen, I still think Detroit wins the series in 6. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. I'm not overreacting to one game, but from a stylistic matchup, that 1-8 series, those are two teams that play very similar styles.
Right.
One team's just a little better shooting than the other, and that better shooting team.
But Detroit's got a
happens to be the
superstar.
8 seed.
Orlando doesn't. That's the difference.
And that is the big difference. But Cade is coming off a collapsed lung and has been back for 6 games. He was good in game 1.
Yeah.
Very, very good in game 1.
I mean, there's no signs of listen, I think the Cavs should beat either team.
They should.
But ultimately, if I had to say who's got a better chance of beating the Cavs, you got to say Detroit. I don't see how it can't be.
I'm just saying Tyvis' take. Some of the other ones I've yelled at.
I'm not saying it's insane.
Tyvis, you and I have gotten yelling matches over these. I see where you're coming from on this one. I don't think it's right, but I actually don't hate the idea. Because I do think Orlando's the more talented team than Detroit, despite the fact Detroit had a much more successful regular season.
Tonight.
Yeah, history says if the road team wins game 1,
blowout game 2?
Blowout for the home game and the home team in game 2.
Detroit is better coached.
I got my money on Orlando in 4.
Orlando in 4.
Well, now you're crazy.
You're right.
They stole game 1, so they're they did their job.
Yeah,
they're happy to go back 1-1 to Orlando.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know about happy.
I mean, they should be thrilled because they're not winning tonight.
Well, I mean, probably not. But you can't go into the game with we're happy we already got 1.
No, but I think that there is this a subconscious in an athlete in that moment, in that series, you're going into it you're like, okay, we just got to get one of these games.
We stole home court advantage now, so we'll see, but. I
will say that the James Harden trade is working out really well for the Cavs right now because Darius is at home on the bench. Drew Holiday, although the Trailblazers won yesterday, Drew
Wemby
Holiday
left the game in the second quarter.
Exactly.
How about that?
Exactly.
And then you got Boston lost to Philly.
Dude, you said yesterday on the show, you're like, well, Philly covered the 14.5. Yeah, favored by 14.5. By 15.
Crazy.
They won by 15.
It was like a 30-point difference.
Boston lives and dies by the 3. They shot very poorly from beyond the arc. VJ Edgecombe was incredible last night. Youngest player in NBA history with a 30-10 playoff game.
That is nuts.
And it goes to show, and Ty, I know you said 2 weeks ago you wanted Drew Holiday over James Harden. You need some assassins who can create shots late in the shot clock.
Who's for Portland? Scooter.
Scoot Henderson?
Yes.
He was a 3rd pick in Wemby's draft.
Dude.
What, he had 30 last night?
30-something, yeah.
Scoot was good. Ty, would you still rather have Drew Holiday than James Harden?
What?
No, not today. Not today.
And that was his crazy take 2 weeks ago.
Today, no.
Traded for Drew Holiday instead of James Harden.
Listen, I tell you what, it's still not a bad take. If Evan's going to continue to play like this, then Drew Holiday wouldn't be the second best player on the team. He'd be the 3rd best. And, as a 3rd option, he's got 2 championships.
Well, I like Evan better as the 3rd best player on the team, which he is right now.
Because he's an X factor, like I said he was going to be.
Yeah. When I was at the game on Monday night, and This was no joke. Like, this was the first time I've ever watched Evan Mobley in person, and I go to a dozen games a year, and I'm like, he looked confident, assertive. He like didn't look scared with the ball. Like, I don't know. He just looked like a little bit of a more confident version of Evan Mobley that I don't know where it's coming from, but I would
why that
love
is,
to see it
Dustin?
continue, guys.
You know why that is? It's because every time he goes against Scotty Barnes, he thinks about how he didn't get Rookie of the Year, and he's going to show everybody that he's better than Scotty Barnes. I think that's what it is. I swear he always plays well against the Raptors.
I mean, Evan Mobley,
real quick, I asked him directly. I said, after the game on Monday, I said,
yeah.
You versus Scotty, it's been a back and forth.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need to play a little better to prove a point? And Evan's answer, in deadpan classic Evan fashion, goes, I'm just here to win basketball games, man. I don't get into that kind of stuff. So, Ty, I was with you because I thought the same thing.
Yeah, whatever. He's
not
going to admit that.
He can't.
Scotty admitted it. Scotty's like, I like playing against Evan it's because, and Evan just was
it's two totally different personalities. That's Evan's problem right there. If he ever come out and stand on something, then people will be like, oh, snap.
He did last year, though. They asked him who's going to be the best player in the league, and he said in 5 years it's going to be me, Wemby, and nobody.
Yeah.
That's at the All-Star game last year.
If Evan plays at this level throughout the playoffs, they should go to the finals, in my opinion.
Oh, Mike, why is Evan – I was looking at the player of the years. Why wasn't Evan – he wasn't even on the list. What happened?
He didn't get a single vote for DPOY. I think he'll make the All-NBA defensive
Overrated?
team.
Adam the Bull correct again.
But that's crazy because even as a DPOY last year, he couldn't get a vote.
Well, I mean, I think everyone put Wemby 1, and then the rest of the ballot's irrelevant. He's the first unanimous DPOY winner in the history of the NBA. And 2, the Cavs overall as a team fell short of expectations. Their defense took a step back. I think it has a lot more to do with their perimeter defensive issues than it did with Mobley and Allen in particular. But when your defense as a whole ranks, I think they were 13th or 12th in the NBA, and Mobley missed almost 20 games.
Yeah, you're not going to win.
He's not getting any of the votes. So I think he makes an All-NBA defensive team despite the fact that he got no votes for DPOY.
All right, Tyvis, it's your last time on the show before the draft. What's your prediction for what the Browns do at 6?
The closer we get, the more I think that they're going to go offensive tackle, and I'm going to be upset about it. I just think that this Chicago talk that's been in my mind, and, I just was listening to Zach yesterday, obviously talk about Caden Proctor at 6 and stuff like that. I don't know. I think that they're going to finish the job off with the offensive line and just get their franchise tackle at 6. It's going to really bother me because you got Tyson and Tate sitting right there, 2 game changers. If Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson is your quarterback this year, whatever one, they need guys on the outside, and they thrive when they got guys on the outside. I don't know why you wouldn't feed them, but.
And are you excited, speaking of game changers, you excited about Sexy Dexy coming to the Bengals?
For y'all, I am. I think that I always tell everybody that I think the edge rusher is becoming an overrated position. I think that defensive tackle is more valuable, and because everything is, if you can game wreck from the middle, like that messes up everything. Even the run game. No running back wants to start and stop his feet. So to me, he's got probably the most pressures in the last few years. I think the next guy is he's got 100 and the next guy 40. So he's a game wrecker when healthy and all of those things. I just think Cincinnati realized hey, we had Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson and it didn't work. So Shamar Stewart has been good in college at getting pressures, not sacks. What if we get him a running mate at defensive tackle? Maybe that frees him up and now those pressures become sacks because those guys got to be able to handle Dexter Lawrence. So to me, I don't think you could get a more game wrecker than Dexter Lawrence with the 10th pick in the draft. So I actually like that pick for Cincinnati. Now they got hit on. I think they got some young linebackers. The one guy, what's his name, Knight or something like that. Yeah. He was a good player for them last year. So I think they got one linebacker. Dax Hill seems like he's been coming along in the secondary. They probably need another corner. So with their second round pick,
if they get another linebacker,
yeah, they get another corner. I think that defense could be improved vastly from just those couple of moves.
Hey Tyvis, what are you going to run that 40-yard dash in, man?
4.46, of course. Why is it nothing less?
When is this?
This will be June 20th.
Wait, what's going on?
Explain,
what is happening here?
So down here, we're doing the Fan 5K. It's an event where you can run a mile, you can run a 5K, or you can compete against me in a 40-yard dash. Or I'm going to set a time, and fans are going to get the opportunity to try to beat my time. But they're not going to run faster than 4.46, so therefore I'm not worried about it.
You're not running a 4.46.
What did you run at the combine?
I'm coming down there and beating it.
4.46.
How are you gonna
FAT.
run the same time you ran at the combine? Are you training for it? Are you train for it?
Bull, listen, I'm a cheetah. I ain't stretching. I ain't training. I'm just going to get up and just drop 4.46 because that's just what we do. When you're fast, you just run fast. That's all the time.
You better
that's what it
train
is.
and stretch, otherwise you're going to have that hamstring pop off the bone.
Yeah, Ty, you just said you're sore from playing a little hoop last night, bro.
I said I was sore. That's all. But you didn't ask me about my performance. Listen, I was out there looking better than Michael Jordan. I had the tongue out and everything.
All right, Tyvis. Good to see you, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
One of one, Tyvis Powell.
I'll see y'all later. Go
Later,
Bucks,
Tyvis.
go Browns, go Cavs, go Guards, free Class A till it's backwards, take Ortiz.